This is probably the first video from a channel like mine to talk about vision boarding. Frankly, it's normally something you see women talking about. But as men, we are actually majorly missing out if we don't utilize the power of having a clear vision and creating a visual reminder to help us achieve that vision and bring those goals into our real existence. Although it's less talked about by men, I have noticed that almost all of the most successful men I know, the multi-millionaires, the deca-millionaires in my life, they all use vision boards. They all completely understand their value and their power. So today I want to talk you through a bit more about why and how you can use a vision board, and also how to create one. And I'll also share my personal vision board with you so you can see some of the things that are important to me and how I am helping myself reach those goals. So first off, why even have a vision board? Vision boards can be associated with manifestation, with The Secret, things like that, woo-woo type things that frankly I think are bullshit. But I value vision boards because I think it's so important for a man to have a vision, to have a clear vision of where he wants to go, the things that he is reaching for. And yes, I do write down my goals, but I also think there are some goals that are more of a feeling that you want out of life, more a sense of accomplishment and fulfillment that's very hard to put into words or to put into objective terms. So I love how a vision board creates a visual representation of your goals, a visual representation of your future life. Because when we think about our goals, we actually don't see words on a page, we see a mini movie, we see images in our head. So the vision board allows you to take those images in your head, put them onto paper and create something that you can look at and you can reach for. Before you create your vision board, you need to get clear on exactly what your goals are. And I find it useful to create a time frame for your goals. Now personally, I don't like to push goals too far ahead into the future. So my goals are all things that I could realistically achieve within the next 1 or 2 years. And ultimately, my vision for my life is what some people would describe as extravagant, but other people would describe as relatively modest. And I think that will make more sense when I show you exactly what's on my vision board. But do keep a rough timeline in mind when you create your vision board. Is it for the next 1 year? Is it for 5 or 10 years? For example, if it's just the next 1 year, then you might not have things like family included in there, but you obviously would if it was 10 years, 15 years in the future. Also think about the different elements of your life. There is the wealth, the career, the financial success, there is love, family, children, you've got your health, your physique. You've also got things that you just do with your free time because they make you intrinsically happy, whether that's playing golf, smoking cigars, driving fancy cars, all of that kind of stuff. So now it's time to actually create your vision board, and to do that we're going to need photos. There are a few different ways you can create a vision board. Some people, the very old-fashioned way, would be to go through a bunch of magazines, cut out things that resonate with you, that speak to you, and stick them onto a corkboard or a big piece of cardboard. I don't find that to be the most effective because the magazines might not have the images that I want for my future life, and I prefer to get very specific and personal. Pinterest is a great resource for this because there are lots of images for all different topics with a great style to them, a great aesthetic. So you can type in something such as golf couple aesthetic, or farmhouse family aesthetic, or Porsche 911 aesthetic, and pick an image that speaks to you. You can also go on Instagram. I'll often save images that appeal to me for some reason on Instagram, so I can go back at all of the saved images and find things that fit in with my vision. You can also find images of literal material objects that you desire. Maybe you desire a particular model of Rolex or a particular model of a car. Go and find that exact thing that you want. The house on my vision board is from a listing of a home just outside Charleston, South Carolina. It's a beautiful style of home that I love, with the balconies on both the lower tier, the porch, and on the upper tier of the house. It has lots of land. It's the perfect kind of place for me. So I found a specific listing of a home. So those are the more literal photos, but you can also have photos that just create a feeling. There are photos of other men on my vision board because they have some qualities that I, for some reason, admire, I resonate with, I wish to emulate. So I include those on my vision board. I've also got a couple of words and phrases on my vision board. For example, discipline is very important to me at this stage in my life, so I like to reinforce that with that word. I also have the, what's it called? I always forget the name of these things. Zeppelin. The Zeppelin from the ending of Scarface, where it says the world is yours. I love that phrase, so that's something again I wanted to reinforce with my vision board. So ultimately, your vision board should be a combination of photos that show specific things you wish to obtain, photos that capture a feeling, an atmosphere that you wish, and then also specific words and phrases that resonate with you. So once you've created your collage of all these different photos and you've finished your vision board, what do you do with it now? Well, if you simply close that project or put it away, it's going to be of no use to you. This vision board needs to be seen, and you need to see it frequently. So two options here. What I've done is I downloaded it to the desktop of my computer and set it as my screensaver. I also created a version for my iPhone wallpaper. So every time I unlock my phone or see the lock screen, I'm reminded of my vision. You may also wish to print this out. You can even put it on a nice canvas. You can create a poster. Stick this somewhere that you will see it every day, multiple times. This could be above your desk, by the coffee maker. It could be on the mirror of your bathroom, so you see it while you're doing your morning and your evening routine. The whole point behind the vision board is that it gives you a constant visual reminder of where you're going, and it allows you the opportunity to reflect with every single decision you make. Will this decision bring me closer to my vision or further away from it? I also like to reflect on the characteristics of the man that would have the life in my vision board. What choices would he make? Would he make this choice? Would he make that choice? I find that incredibly useful. And also having the vision board there helps you see opportunities, things that are coming into your life that will help you get there. This is best explained by something called the Baader-Meinhof phenomenon. Maybe you've bought a car in the past, and then you notice that as you're driving along, you keep seeing the exact same model and color of the very car you just bought that you never noticed before. And that's because your brain is intrinsically wired to notice these patterns in life. So once you have this visual representation of your future goals clearly in your mind, you will be able to notice opportunities that will lead you down the correct path much more easily than if you didn't have this visual aid. I also find that creating a vision board helps clarify your goals and helps you realize what's actually important to you and what's not. You may notice that on my vision board, there aren't really many material objects. Now, when I started creating the vision board, I was thinking more in materialistic terms. But as I actually began to put it together, I had to make room for certain things, I had to make priorities. I realized that actually those items weren't very important to me. And the material objects, the financial objects that were important to me, were more there for a feeling or what they could provide in terms of a family life for me. So yeah, the life on my vision board is not exactly cheap, but also the things that bring me fulfillment and the things that I'm aiming for. It's not the Lamborghini, it's not the Rolex, it's certainly not the private jet. I just want a beautiful home to have with my family, maybe a sailing boat, maybe 1 or 2 nice cars, and enough money to provide a great sense of security and to set my children up for a great life. So, gentlemen, I'm very excited to hear from you in the comments. How do you feel about vision boarding? Perhaps you've been inspired by this video to create one for yourself. Because I am such a strong believer in the power of vision, goals, and discipline, I recently added a whole new module inside my private community for men that are looking to get serious about their goals, remove the things that have been holding them back in the past, and actually make progress, not only by themselves, but also with my one-to-one help and with a small group of like-minded men to keep them accountable. Now, if that's something you're interested in, the best thing to do is just hit that link down in the description where you can actually book a call with me to discuss whether joining would be a good fit for you or not. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'm very excited to see you in the next one.